Welcome to my podcast. My name is Karina and I'm coming to you from the Pacific Northwest. I am in my basement and I'm doing this short introduction just as preparation for the podcast. So hopefully you have a project to work on and something nice to drink while I talk. So I just want to give you a view outside my basement window. It is currently snowing outside. And the first part of this podcast will be basically a weather report from me trudging out to the barn when it's really very cold, and then again when it started snowing. I will go into details later about my knitting projects and maybe something about horsemanship. It's hard to say. I really haven't been doing much, but feeding them and just trying to keep their water thawed and just all the little things that need to happen in weather like this. I am wearing a scarf that is from a kit that I knit quite a few years ago. Let's see if I can get this out. It's a nice scarf and it happens to match this. I am also wearing the Love Note sweater made out of a fingering weight sock yarn that I bought from Skein and Tipple on Whidbey Island a couple years ago, and it is held with a kind of a rust colored mohair. So the cuff is what I knitted without the mohair. So this is really what the base color is, and that mohair really influenced the overall color. I really like the sweater. It is cold, so that's why I have so many layers on. You can see a turtleneck, this vest, and the sweater. So very nice, cozy, warm. And that's all I have to say about that. So it is day 2 of our cold freeze, and I had to resort to using the MKAL to chop ice off the stock tank. I had been able to just use the shovel, the handle of a big shovel, and I broke that three times yesterday. So I think the high yesterday was 20 degrees Fahrenheit. Right now it's not much colder than that, maybe 15. I am doing the morning feeding right now. And so far, this is what I've got. The horses have kept one bucket sort of ice-free. I assisted with the shovel this morning. This one I broke. So these plastic muck tubs are kind of fragile when it's really cold. And then that, you can see that, I have a tank heater in, and that is keeping a hole open. So the horses are in Bragi's stall waiting very patiently for their breakfast. There is some hay left over from last night, but I'm going to give them some more. It is January 17th and we went from deep freeze to about 35 degrees and snowing. So the ground has been really cold because of the deep freeze. So snow is sticking, even though despite the warmish temperature. When snow is this heavy, we typically have trees fall down and power outages, so hoping we can avoid that. We will see. My fences tend to sag and the branches tend to sag, and it's a little bit slippery, which is why the camera's a little wiggly. So you can see the fence lines. This ribbon fencing that I use, electric fence, it's kind of starting to bear the weight of the snow already. And this branch, I don't normally have to duck under that, so let me see if I can relieve it of its burden. Not much. So So I'm going to feed the horses lunch and kind of check to see how the fences are doing out there. I mean, they're in this very kind of limited area. I don't let them out on pasture at all this time of year. Give it a chance to recover. And so far, I mean, I just see kind of some dips, but I don't see anything over. I'm going to walk out to the pasture later. So there they are. Just been able to start picking up manure because it's been frozen. So Bragi standing out in the snow, and Odin looks like he's seeking shelter under the tree. We'll see what their hay situation is and bring them some more. Hi everyone. Welcome to the knitting portion of my podcast. I recorded the introduction a couple days ago, so I'll start with what I'm wearing. I am wearing a raglan sweater made out of a self-striping. I think this is a DK. I want to say it's Lions brand. Yeah, I think it's DK Cake, and I think it's 80% acrylic, but there's just enough wool in it to let you know that there's wool in it. So in other words, it's a little bit itchy. The other thing I'm wearing, which I don't think that you have seen before, and I have to take off my socks, so excuse me. If you're wondering what this is right here, this is a greenhouse that I put together while it was really, really cold, and I'm concerned about the plastic, that it would not survive those really low temperatures we were having, so it's still in the dining room. So here is, this is the Fairground sock. It's knit from self-striping yarn, Freckled Whimsy self-striping yarn. I don't remember the name of the colorway. The pattern is by Kay Jones. So it's a fun knit. It seems to me it had, the ribbing was a little bit different than the standard, so it wasn't, excuse me, I just came in from outside. So it was a little, I had to think about it more, but the nice thing about it is it really blends into this kind of wave pattern that she has created. So it's kind of waves and lace. I don't think there's any cables, but I honestly don't remember. So, and I knit them over the summer, so you would think I would remember that, but I don't. So, this video should have, I think I filmed some parts of the really cold weather that we had, and I just filmed a short section of walking out to the barn with the snow melting. The ground is still really hard and it's a little bit icy and slippery. And I also filmed a short section of me training the horses. So I just want to preface the training section because that'll be next after I finish showing you my works in progress. I have no finished objects, by the way. I want to preface this by saying that this really short exercise that I did, I have been working on this cone game, which is I've mentioned before, is a marker for horses to stand. So both horses understand the concept of touching the cone with their noses or their muzzles, and that is called targeting. And the idea behind it is to get them to stay in one place until you tell them that they can leave. I've never tried this exercise with them together. I've always done it one at a time. So that was kind of an interesting experiment. And you could see that at one point, I think both of them did this. It's like, well, hey, why are you paying attention to him? Hey, I'm over here. So just getting them to understand that they only get rewarded when they do what I ask them to, which is stand by their own comb. So I hope you find that enjoyable. It's a really short segment. Well, it's 5 minutes. So, but it's at the end. So if you're not interested in that part, feel free to skip ahead. So anyway, thanks for sticking with me through this. I haven't done anything with the horses in, it seems like a really long time, but I know it's been, well, I mean, I rode Odin on the 1st of January, and I have done some cone game exercises with Bragi since then, but it just seems like a really long time. Today is January 19th, and it's still probably too icy on the trails to go anywhere. So I'm going to try to explore some of these other games that I can play with them, because clearly they like to engage. All right, horse talk. I am going to talk about knitting. Now, the knit along is Frog My Knits 2024, and I haven't made a ton of progress on this Riverside sweater. I can't remember, even though I recorded last week or weekend, I can't remember if I had this in 2 sections. So this is the part that I am going to unravel, frog, in other words, and re-knit so that this section, which is below the yoke and below the arms, because the sleeves are attached. I am going to knit this, so this is more like probably brown and white. Do the color change. This will be brown, color change, just to add some of that highlight. And then I think I'm going to do this mostly brown, white, and red. And I don't know what I'm going to do with this yet. But maybe brown, white, and brown, I think is what I'm going to do. So I have it separated. This was a bottom-up sweater. I have it on needles. I just haven't got the gumption to start knitting it. So I did set up a group, a Frog My Knits 2024 group on my Ravelry page. Feel free to check it out. Last time I looked, which I think was Monday, and today's Friday, there was one person besides myself that had joined. Don't quite understand how to manage a Ravelry group yet, so forgive me for that. You can also tag me on Instagram if you like, or I think I also left my Facebook page too if you are interested in that. So a friend of mine who I had coffee with this morning, she said she actually really liked the red. So as a nod to her, I'm not going to rip out the sleeves. It's still my sweater, so I'm going to knit most of the bottom, rest of this in brown. But as a nod to her, I will keep the red on the red. And all I'm going to do is extend the sleeves a little bit so that they're about this length and they're pretty gapy. I would prefer them to be a little bit closer fitting and a few inches longer. So I am going to undo the ribbing and then knit the sleeves in some sort of pattern. I haven't quite thought about that yet. I'm going to do the body first. So that is the Frog My Knits. As you can see, I have not made a lot of progress, and if you are interested in participating, you probably know how difficult it is and how somewhat demoralizing it is to do this. But, I'd rather do this and really love the sweater that I'm going to end up with rather than having a sweater that I initially felt would be a candidate for the ugliest sweater contest. I appreciate my friend's perspective that she liked the red, which makes me think that maybe I was judging a little bit too harshly. Still, I want it to be more brown. So I'm going to do that. What else have I been working on? I have been working on my socks. So these are self-striping. Freckled Whimsy, this is the Advent. So this is a knee sock. So I have one done and it goes right up under my knee, which is exactly what I want. I cast on 56 stitches, so this is enough to fit over my cap and stay up there. I have started on the second sock, so I believe this is 18 stripes till I do the heel. What if I do it this way? So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think 6 stripes to go till I get to the heel. So I'm just working on these somewhat during the day if I need a break. Sometimes if I have a Zoom meeting or something that I don't have to participate in or have to contribute to, I'll knit a little bit during that. So I actually split the skein into 2 balls, thinking that I am going to have leftovers. So I'm still working on the first 50 grams, and I have this, I have this much of my sock done. So I am going to have some left. I'm knitting these on Chow-Goo red lace, size 0. Again, cast on 56 stitches because apparently I have scrawny calves and feet. I think my foot measures around, I measured it the other day, 8.5 inches. And I you know, that's really kind of medium around, I guess. I don't know. But I think I tend to knit kind of on the loose side. So that's why I do the 56 stitches, because those fit me better. So yeah, this is a 24 stripe Advent, and they don't match, and I don't care. I think they're cool. That way they're custom. I thought about starting at the starting point of the 50 grams, but I thought, well, no, then I'm going to have 2 balls of leftovers, which I don't know. I could hold those. Well, no, because then the stripes would have to match up. Because I've been thinking about. I actually ordered a skein of Freckled Whimsy DK weight sock yarn, so I would like to dabble a little bit in the DK weight socks for more kind of fall, winter, and spring seasons here. What's next? Oh, my shawl. So this started on Advent. The knit along actually goes to the 31st of January. I'm using scraps and part of a Polka Dot Creek Advent mini bundle. And this is where I am at. So I'm on day 21. This is called Grand Opening, I think. I can tell you for sure. Grand Opening, yes. This is a Grand Opening shawl. It's by Tellybeans Knits. So I have focused mostly on kind of the pinks. And you can see some browns and maybe some peach and salmon color in there. So, but the main theme is, and I'm showing you the wrong side, I apologize. So right now I'm knitting on just I guess this would be the right side if I were to wear it. So there's 4 more days, I think, left of this. So definitely have knit. Each section is something divided by a garter row, which those are fun. Those are mindless. I really like this row. I didn't particularly enjoy knitting it because it was a lot of knitting 3 in 1, then knitting 3 to get, well, actually it was purling. But I think it looks cool. So I'm not really sure what's going to happen here. Whether I'm going to put, I mean, these are on waste yarn, so I'm not really sure what's next, and I have not looked ahead. So anyway, that is the Grand Opening shawl, and I feel pretty confident I will have this done at the end of January. So I've been focusing a lot of time on that, especially in the evening, which is why I have not been working on the Riverside sweater. I'm using Chow-Goo red lace. I might be using US size 3 on these, which I believe are 3.5 millimeter. This is a bag my mom made, just a nice simple lined drawstring bag, which I really like. My mom also made this bag, which I use for my socks. It is a nice quilted dragonfly pattern fabric with polka dot inside and a zipper, which occasionally I get the yarn caught in the zipper if I'm not careful, so I need to be more careful. And then my other whip is, so this scarf. So this is a Colorwork scarf by Pacific Knits Co. And you can see the motifs. So this was an invisible cast on. You can see the reindeer here. This is snowman, so the white snowman with the darker background. Mountains. I think this is sort of like church windows. I don't remember what this is. And then we get into the more forested section. So these are sort of like evergreen trees. These are sort of like pine trees. This is kind of a holly leaf. More holly leaf here. And then the blue, kind of some crosses and other kind of holiday type themes. So scooting right along on this. I think the scarf is supposed to be like 5 feet long. So I obviously have like 4 feet to go. It's been really fun to knit these. I'm using really just scrap yarns. So some of it's self-striping. This here is I think it's Dumbledore's Army by Freckled Whimsy leftover yarn. I have quite a bit left over of that. The blue, I think, is a Barocco sample, and then also a Polka Dot Creek Advent mini skein. So I've got just like a bag full of goodies here, and the main color I'm using is a Polka Dot Creek undyed sock weight yarn. So I have more Polka Dot Creek. I have some purple. So basically I am just kind of knitting to my fancy. So here's some yellow. I don't know what I'm going to use that for yet. Some green. This is what I did this bottom part in. Quite a bit left of that. So you may see some of that in there. And then here's the Dumbledore's Army. And I think I have, so just a whole bag full of goodies, which is really fun for color work. Because you really only need small bits, and if you add another color that's similar, you kind of can't tell. So that's cool. So that's the knitting. I'm a bit sad to say that I don't have any new cast-ons yet. You might remember that on January 1st, I was thinking, well, should I cast something on? I'm really tempted to cast something on. I haven't. I have been focusing on my projects, trying to finish my projects. I want to knit the things that I have on the needles. I want to finish the shawl and then work on the Riverside knits, Riverside sweater. Carrie from My Wool Mitten is doing a sock spin along. I do not spin, but it's super tempting because in her episode she showed a pair of woolly socks. It looks like a DK or bulky weight sock that just seems so cozy and warm. It's like, I know I'm a sheep farmer. I'm sure I could get wool, and I know that you can do hand spindle stuff. So I am going to spend a little time researching this weekend on how to get started with hand spindling. Not that I need another craft, but I have been thinking about it for quite a while. In fact, a few years ago, I was at a local grocery store around here, and I was wearing a knitted hat and a knitted scarf, and she asked me about them. She was the checkout person, and she said that she used to have her own fiber farm. So she had alpaca and maybe llamas. I'm not really sure all the animals she had, but she had like 25 fleece-bearing animals, and she had eventually had to sell the farm and give her animals to good homes, but she had enough
fiber to spin, and she said that even on her work break she had this like little hand spinner that she would just spin and then knit. But so I've been thinking about it for a while. I haven't done anything about it. Carrie's invitation to knit along might be the impetus to get in there. We'll see how it goes. I hope your 2024 is going well. Mine has been going well. I am emerging from what I called Sadvent last week. I'm coming out of the grumpies. Even though, you know, I still, and I'm sure some of it's cabin fever, which is ridiculous. Because what have I had, like maybe a week? I don't even think it's really been 2 weeks of cabin fever. I mean, there was the week that I just didn't feel like going out because it was really foggy and cold for here. And I was just sort of like coming out of the holiday busyness and just feeling like I needed some downtime. And then we had the weather, which forces downtime. And I think that's what it's all about. It's like, was this my choosing or was this forced upon me? So just to echo Karen Rolfe, who is a dressage naturally trainer. She is the dressage naturally trainer from Florida. I'm very influenced by her. She says, love it or change it. And I've been thinking about that a lot lately. So what can I love about this weather? Well, I can love that there really is no pressure, like who's putting the pressure on me to do anything outside that I don't want to do. No one else is going outside and putting their animals at risk. At least I hope they're not, and putting themselves at risk. I can love all the knitting time that I have. I can love the opportunity to put together a greenhouse and think about growing things, which, by the way, I did plant a bunch of like microgreens. So it's super easy. Just take any seeds like radish, arugula, mustard seeds, mustard greens, kale, anything like that, and just put them on just a really shallow tray of soil and spread them very thickly and just keep them moist with a spray bottle, and you get sprouts. I've also made sprouts in jars. I don't know. I used to do that, I want to say in the 90s, and I remember my mom doing it probably the 70s or 80s. Super easy to do, and it's a great way to just add some, you know, yumminess to your food and some nutrition to your diet. So anyway, that's something that I can love. And what can I change? So I could change how I do things. I can change my expectations. So I think the video that I did of the horse training shows how I changed my expectations about how I was going to interact with the horses, and they enjoyed it. And what else can I change? I can change, maybe I can do something really silly. I walk out to the barn the same way every day, at least twice, sometimes 3, 4, 5 times a day. Maybe once I get down the stairs, maybe I can walk backwards for 5 steps. That's a change. It's silly, it's tiny, but what is amazing to me is how you can change your mind if you do something really small and seemingly silly. So on that note, I am going to say goodbye for now. Again, thank you for watching. Feel free to like and subscribe. Feel free to comment. I really enjoy the interactions that I get from comments. My contact information is in the description box, which if you go below this video and it says more and a down arrow, click on that and you should be able to get all of that information. So best wishes to you. I am going to find my little clicker to see if I can turn this off. I'll see you next week.
Hi everyone. I'm going to try something today. I'm going to try to film a training session I have in mind. You can see it has snowed. It's melting and the ground is cold, so it's kind of slippery out. So I'm going to do something really mellow with the horses since the ground has been cold and hard, and they have also been treading carefully. So I hope this works, and I'll see you soon. Okay, I'm trying to set up the camera with those one to like wrap around, what you call it, and I threw the cone out there because I want Odin, so I'm going to give him his reward. Target. Good job. Okay. You go you target. Target. Good job. What a good boy. Can you wait? How about you? Can you target if I bring it over here? Target. Wait. Good work. Good job. Should we practice what we've been working on? Good. Wait, oh. Okay. Good job. You okay? Can you wait? Good work. Now how about you? Can you move your haunches over? Can you move your bum? Good job! Good job! Good job, Bragster. Yeah, you're a good boy. Okay, can you move your haunches? Good job! Okay, target. Good work. I know. I need to be pickier, don't I? I need to be pickier. Nope. Stand over there. Target. Target. Okay. Can you move your shoulder? Hold on. That's your target. So this is what happens when they lose focus. Target. Good job. You gotta go touch your own. Go on. Good job. Okay. I'm going to call that good. Because you guys were super. Good work. Good job, Oh. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. Yes. Good work. Okay. That was a training session. We'll see if I can turn the camera off. Hopefully that worked. I guess I'll find out. Good boys! Super proud of you. Super proud of you. Yeah, super proud of you. All right, should we take this out? Hey, can you back up? Can you back up? Good job. Okay, here we go. Here. Awesome.